Podcast Game Week 21 with your host, Matthew Chan, and the secret author who's out in his car by the beach somewhere, Tony Buxton.
Good evening, everybody.
How are you anyway? Can we see a bit of the beach or is it too dark?
I didn't go to the beach in the end. It was a bit windy, so I'm in someone else's car. It's not my car. In a car park in the middle of nowhere in a place that looks worse than Stockton. So if I get stabbed halfway through the podcast, I'll be back in a few weeks.
So whose car is it?
It's a lad I'm sharing digs with. He's called James. He's a fellow rail worker. Track rat we are. That's what we call track rats.
Oh, all the shout out to the track rats. Anyway, obviously you were missing from last week. How's it gone for you?
Yeah, I was a bit gutted that I missed last week's because I couldn't defend myself when I was playing you and you were calling all my lucks and my good fortunes and everything. But it's gone well since then. I had a high scoring week last week, which not many people did. Mo Salah is back. And 2 goals he scored were absolutely wonderful. It was like the old Salah again. This week, I'm down by 26 points. My opponent had an elite Manchester United team out. They destroyed me, but I'm hopeful I can come back. I've got Mahrez tonight who's starting. Ryan Ainsley, you owe me a 5, and stop saying you don't, because you do. You owe me a 5 on that bet, by the way, with Mahrez starting. And then I've got Captain Salah still to come in a couple of little scroungers. So yeah, I'm content.
Yeah, and obviously you weren't here last week. We've got our own podcast host, Ryan. He's gone on his own little sabbatical. I think he's lost his head a little bit. So he's going to clear his head for like a week, just not think about it, and he'll back stronger, as Peter Crouch would say.
Yeah, we're missing him. He's in a bad way, bless him. If I wasn't working at the bottom of the country, I'd have went round, give him a little knock on the door. I'm on the shoulder. He's down, bless him. I think he's about 16th now.
Yeah. Okay, and obviously the main talking points, obviously we'll just cover it briefly, is, PEP roulette. That's like we thought that all gone away, but last week he decided to change it up. Chelsea, return of the old boys with Azpilicueta and Alonso, and plenty more to gossip. And just before we start, anyway, I think I'm just going to have to go on a bit of a rant, because after losing to you, completely lost my head. I was thinking about it so much. I woke up early and Helen was still like asleep. So as you do Saturday morning, you get checking your phone, don't you? You like look at your fantasy team. You think, I'm not very. I don't really believe in that team, and I think from the podcast we had last week was on mid-priced FPL midfielders, I started to believe our own hype. So I was like, right, I'm taking Bruno out. I'm taking all the big guns out. I'll just get these medium players. And it just went so wrong. Obviously, Bruno, he blanked on the weekend, so it wasn't too bad. But Tielemans did nothing. Bamford took him out for Calvert-Lewin, and then he goes and gets 15 points out of nothing. And now I just lost my head. I'm like, I can't deal with it. And my run's going to come at the end.
There's some chaos going on with the Chan family at the minute. Ryan's lost his head. He's both wildcarded. You're quite an intelligent FPL manager. You always have been. I'm very, very surprised in what's going on with you and your team at the minute, Chan. I'm sure you'll pick it back up when you get out your little mood, but yeah, I'm surprised to see you with this team. You've got no premium midfielders I've seen as well, which I'm surprised at, but you'll come back, mate. Don't worry about that. First bit of business, I think you should get Salah back.
Yeah, well, I think, I'm debating getting Salah, but I never had him. But I think what happened after talking to Harry, he's got a different tactic. He's got a kind of like a daytime trading type where he tries to get them like really early. And then when it's like peaks and troughs. So then after they like hit a little bit form, he dumps them. And then they don't do very well. And he keeps like recycling his players. And I thought, when's the best time? Like, no better time to do it now than when the premiums aren't doing very well, and Bamford and Fernandez just dropped a bomb on me this week.
Yeah, Bamford, for starters, looked insane, mate. He reminds me a little bit of like Harry Kane. Like, he's so generous and he's making things happen. He's not just a finisher anymore. He's like running the show a bit like Harry Kane does. I was watching the highlights today and he just looked insane. His goal was amazing. I'm not sure if he intended to let that ball run that far ahead of him, but he just mended it with the finish, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it was a very good finish. Every little thing, he could have had more as well in that game. So maybe he's back. And I think I've learned anyway. I'm just gonna stick with your team, I think.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you then. So it's got me thinking, when you're doing transfers, are you more angry when you don't put someone in that you were thinking about and they get like double figures, like 10 to 20 points? Or are you more angry when you take someone out and then they, deliver 10, 20 points?
Your first option. I haven't had that much of a curse this year where that's happened, where what's been happening with you and Ryan, especially Ryan taking players out and then them scoring. That hasn't happened to me too many times. But when I'm thinking about my transfer, because I always wait till last minute to do it, I think right into it, and they always ends up being about 4 or 5 players I'm picking from, and then obviously make my choice. If it's the wrong choice, that does frustrate me.
Yeah. So you're more in the fact that of not picking that transfer then.
Yeah, because they score and then you're like going to your mates and that you're going, oh my god, I was going to pick him, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, bullshit. Like, no, I was going to pick him. Like, I knew it. No one believes you, mate. That's what gets me more angry. No one believes you. Basically calling a lie in your face. I know what I'm on about.
I know. Well, it was like last year when we were both saying, "Oh, we're going to get Antonio," and he scored 4 against Norwich.
Oh, that was what I was thinking about when you first brought it up. That was the most painful. It was painful if you lost the week. I can't remember if I won or not, but I remember I was talking to you about it and I was saying, yeah, but at least we can have pride knowing that we were going to do it. Whereas deep down, I was a bit fuming, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, a bit of a return. It was quite a low scoring. When you quizzing it last week, it seemed to be, if you didn't have Salah, Bamford, or Callum Wilson, there's a lot of low scores there. I think the average was around 40.
Yeah, it was a mega low week, innit? The only reason I got so high is exactly like you said, Salah. Callum Wilson's points, because he was second on my bench. He came on, he gave me 13 as well. So obviously that helped me get high points as well. But I was raging when he scored. And then when he scored, my phone alerted for 2-0. The bloke who I'm sharing digs with, he went, oh, Newcastle 2-0. I went, is it Callum Wilson? Because my opponent had him, Tom Neal.
Yeah.
He went, yeah. And then I watched the finish. His header was amazing, right? But Pickford, like, his front post flicked it over all the defenders. Pickford should really only have to step, and he makes a meal of that. He's a shit keeper. So I was raging, but then, because of PEP Roulette, I lost 2 players, and Wilson actually came on for me and got me 13 points in the end.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got quite lucky, didn't you, with the sub? So he's your team there. Do you want to read it out? Can you see that on your...
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it out?
I've got it here, I think. Yeah, right. So I had McCarthy in goal, 3 points. Justin at the back, 1. Maguire, 5. Ben Mee, 1. Dallas, 7. Gundogan, 3. Salah as vice captain, 30. Son, 2. Fernandez, 3. Wilson, 13. Antonio, 2.
So, yeah. And then, obviously, the great thing about that was, obviously, you had Mahrez as a captain. Put Salah as the vice, got 30. You had Wilson on the bench, didn't you? But because Stones didn't play, that's 13. That's 43 points there.
Yeah.
Just think, like, had they both played, you might have lost.
I possibly would have lost. I always put a bit of thought into my bench and stack it up right, but the fact Mahrez, I was like, is he going to play? Is he not? I hoped he was. It was my transfer I made. But for Stones not to play as well, that was down to luck 100%. Like with losing two, and the two guys coming off the bench. So it was a fortune in my favour when it like referring to that. I wouldn't have got half as much points, would I?
No, but sometimes you need that luck, don't you? Like, obviously, the skill involved in the game, that's very good that you've put, Salah as your vice captain as like a contingency plan. But yeah, there is like a good fortune element in that. I mean, you could have just brought Mahrez on for like 2 minutes or something like that. And it's total different story in your game week.
I totally expected that to happen. I was watching the live commentary, waiting for it to say Mahrez, and then a sub came up, and I thought, here we go. But it was Rodri who came on. When it settled, I thought, champion. Wilson's bringing me 13 points. I wasn't banking on Salah to get me my goals. I was saying now with chat, I was trying to tally my points with Salah keeping a clean sheet and get me 6 as captain. But he got 2 goals. It was amazing. And them goals, by the way, that is away. His first one, what a finish. And then that second one, the whole build-up, he's back in form. He's going to hit another 2 against Brighton.
Salah's back.
He's back. My captain.
He's back.
Day one. Been forcing me to mix and match a bit now, but...
Yeah, and obviously, I just quickly go through your team anyway for this week. There's no point showing mine because I'm on 0 after yesterday's performance. But
yeah.
Do you want to read that out? Or, do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, you read it out.
Yeah, you got McCarthy for 0, Maguire 5, Fernandes 17, and Wilson for 5. So, I mean, except for McCarthy, all your players have done something, to be honest. Just been a bit unlucky who you've come up against.
Yeah, the points on any other week, I'd be over the moon with that, especially considering who's got the points, like 2 Man United players, Bruno massive, not out of form, but not point scoring, and Maguire, like they've sorted the defence out a bit. But I've come against Steve, and I know I've been getting dubbed a bit lucky lately, right? But anyone who knows Steve Clarkson, when it comes to football, is the most flukiest person ever. But I'm not going to go at him on this. I'm going to let him have it because it's half a stroke of genius and at the same time. Martial coming on for less than half an hour, scoring 2. Rashford was his captain. I don't know if anyone else in the 2 leagues would have captained Rashford, but he's got an insane amount of points. Luckily, he came off a touch early. 6 points ahead of me, but now Mahrez is starting tonight. I'm expecting him to score a goal. Salah captain. I've got Antonio. I honestly think I can beat him, and I think I will beat him.
Yeah, I guess you're not too far away, actually. I mean, going to give Steve a little bit of a shout out later on, actually, and show his team. But he's on 53 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would have thought, anyway, Man United 9-0. I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought, I tell you what, I'll just leave the game. I just can't do with the stress. I'll just leave my phone, leave the game. And every time I kept checking, they were just scoring loads, and then it got to 4-0, 5-0, and I was like, all right, okay, Bruno's only got an assist here. I'll take that. Checked it again, it was 9-0, and he, got a goal and 2 assists by the end of the game, so made me regret it even more.
Unbelievable. Every time a goal went in, I was looking, right? If I didn't watch the game at all and I seen 9-0, I'd put good money on it that Maguire scored one of them goals. A big percentage of the reason I bought Maguire is because of his goal attacking ability from corner kicks as a cheap centre-back, but he didn't get anything. It was just all the midfielders won it, even little Danny James or whatever he is, whatever he's called. I always forget his first name. I don't really care about him. I think he's shite, but he got a goal as well, so it was just all up in the air. If anyone was triple Man United, fair play, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And obviously just touching on Chelsea a little bit, these 2 boys were back. Return of the old guard.
100%.
2 beautiful men there, Cesar and Marcus Alonso.
They're unbelievable. They've always been unbelievable. They've never warranted a drop. They shouldn't be dropped. Alonso's, I don't know how many times he's played this season. Obviously, it's very few. Did you see his goal, mate? It was sick, man. I think everyone's going to be bringing him in now. If he's starting, I certainly am. I can't remember who it was exactly. Might have been Liam Taylor, our guest, when we asked him who his favourite
Oh
fantasy
yeah,
player was. He said Alonso, and rightly so. This guy, now he's back in the team, is going to bolster that squad. Same for Aspilicueta as well. Another awesome player. And he scored as well. They both scored. It's the way to do it, mate.
yeah. I mean, I think he's trying to have a look at all the players at the moment. So he's giving everyone like a bit of a run out. And I actually thought about putting Aspilicueta in. I went for Thiago Silva instead because I thought, oh, he's a safer one because he's guaranteed to play. But looks like Aspilicueta is going to be number one right back. Alonso, I'm still not convinced. I think FPL wise, I think if he does start all the time, then yeah, he's such a threat. We've known that like for the last few years, how many
Yeah.
goals he can get.
Goals, assists, free kicks, but we don't know yet if he's going to play all the time. Is
Yeah.
Chilwell going to be allowed to just sit on that bench when they've just paid all that money for him?
Yeah.
Reece James as well. He's pretty good, but there's no way he should be starting over Aspilicueta.
Yeah, I think Reece James is good play. He's good going forward, but still defensively, I think he lacks a bit of what's the word? Maturity.
Yeah.
That Aspilicueta just has with experience. He's still one of their better defenders, and he's still good going forward. So, okay, try and predict then. What next do you think for people like Chilwell, Zuma, James, Mount, Abraham? Do you think they've got a future? Do you think they should be, wary or?
Well, I think Zuma is a better defender than Rudiger by a canny mile. I think he should be playing all the time, but he's not. Reece James, still young, probably got a place at Chelsea coming up. I've always said this about Tammy Abraham. I don't rate him, and I don't think he's good enough to play for Chelsea. Same for Mason Mount. He can do like wonderful things on occasion and can stand out, but I think he'd be better off at a different club, mate. I think he could be like one of the best players at an average Premier League club. I don't think he should be at Chelsea.
Who's this? Sorry,
Mason Mount.
Mount.
Yeah.
I mean, talk from some of the Chelsea fans. They actually think he's been one of the best players this year.
Yeah. Well, that's what
I think. Well, like at the start of the year, I remember I tipped him for the month, and he was actually playing well, but obviously just not from like an FPL point of view.
Yeah.
Like when he's actually like performing on the pitch, but yeah, it's just a lot of competition, isn't there? And there's, he might be Frank's cup of tea. He's like Frank's son, isn't he?
Oh,
He like
I love him, mate.
manages son. So I don't know if Tuchel what his thoughts are going to be on Mason Mount.
Yeah, this is just my opinion. I feel like when Chelsea are in form and all their best players are playing well, Mason Mount's performances are drowned out a bit. But when they're in shit form and everyone's having a bit of a stinker, he stands out. He's just like a consistent level of football. Do you know what I mean? So he only stands out depending on how the rest of the team. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I think I get what you mean. Sometimes there's players where they look good because they're playing solid. So, for example, I think Milner won like Player of the Year, and I thought he was easily one of the best players. But the argument for that is if City were then, on top form, shouldn't someone like be Aguero or like, David Silva, Yaya Toure? I think it was like that long ago. Shouldn't they be one of the Players of the Year? So it's not always bored well. But yeah, I mean, with Chelsea, it's good from there. But I mean, the main problem anyway, what everyone was talking about, the meltdown was Man City and PEP Roulette was back.
He's insane, isn't he? That kid does what he wants, man.
Watch these. Been working hard on the visuals here, so go easy on me, yeah.
Yeah. What is that music? You are.
Welcome to PEP Roulette.
Absolute rock, man. You are rock.
Welcome to PEP Roulette. Place your bets, please. With Sterling. I tell you what, in that picture, for people listening to audio, Sterling and Cancelo, they look quite dapper there, don't they?
Is that
You've had a
Cancelo? Jesus
yeah.
Christ. That's like something you'd see in like Yam that stood there drinking double vodka out of straw with his ankle tight suit trousers on and his little crocodile flippers. Brilliant.
He suits it though, doesn't he? And look at Sterling with the spectacles. He's got that like intellectual look, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does like a perverted like art professor or something.
Is that how you see it? took me a couple of hours doing that, like, and
That's great. I
a
respect
few
that.
conversations.
Brilliant.
But anyway, so there's a bit of pep roulette. Anyway, here's the visuals and the stats and the figures. Bear with me a second there. Oh, I didn't click on all the things. Right, here we go. So he's a defenders first of all. So color coordinated here. So green obviously just means that they've played more than 60 minutes. The yellows, if they've been like a sub or didn't play 60 minutes, and red's just completely didn't play at all. So as you can see, Diaz has played all the last 6 matches. He's playing tonight. So he's nailed on. And then the next one from there is up between Stones and Cancelo. And as you can see, Stones started 5 out the last 6. Obviously missed Sheffield United. Cancelo, again, 4 out of 6. And one sub appearance from there. So they're like the next 2 in the pep roulette who you think are a bit more safe. They both had a rest against Sheffield United. Would have been interesting to see who would play for the Burnley game tonight. Obviously, the match is on now, so you can see that he's playing all of them: Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, and Laporte. So then Walker and Zinchenko miss out.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's quite fascinating is that Zinchenko, before this game, started every single game for the last 6 weeks. Obviously, that had a little bit to do with Walker's injury. Laporte was injured as well. So it looks like they're playing Laporte like left of a 3 or ultimately like a little bit like a left back.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see because for the Liverpool game, that's a big game on Sunday, whether it's going to be between Stones and Laporte. But based on tonight's team, do you think he'll play both Stones and Laporte with Diaz? Or do you think Walker's due to come back in? So that's the prediction from that.
I don't know. Walker could be more effective in that type of game with his pace and his sweeping ability to cut out Salah, or if Mane's back or whatever. I think Walker's a better option, but I honestly can't predict what this manager is ever going to do. I really can't. Diaz is the only nailed-on player. Like, I don't even think he banked on Stones really doing a good job. He was just fitting in, wasn't he? But now he's done a great job. He's got extra defenders that are first-team players, all of them, on the bench, in and out of the team all the time. It's a tricky one for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair play to John Stones for actually forcing his way back into Pep's plans, because when they signed Ake, I thought his time could be done at Man City. He might have to go back to Everton or, whatever. But like I was saying, obviously with that team, there's defenders there. Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, Laporte all play today. So Walker and Zinchenko miss out. Will that change again on Sunday? Who knows? Obviously, draw your own conclusions to that. My conclusions, I think Diaz, Stones will play, Cancelo will play, and then it's just one between the other 3. I think he could even play Laporte against Liverpool. Maybe he wants to solidify it. I'm not too sure, but
yeah, it depends how he's going to go about it. Salah's coming back into form at the right time for this game. It's going to influence how Pep sets up, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good game. Predictions then for that game?
I can't see Liverpool having the oomph about them. Without Henderson in that centre midfield, they're not as effective. I think he's better than Thiago, and I think the loss without him, I can see Man City possibly winning this game.
Right. Okay. I don't know. Liverpool need to come out attacking, I think, straight away because they're behind in the league.
Yeah.
At Anfield, it can be tricky for Man City. I think my fear is if Liverpool come out, don't score in the first 50, 60 minutes, City might pick them off. I don't know if Liverpool's defence has been quite strong, but anyway, should make a good game on the Sunday. He's a little bit the. You nearly got broken in.
I broke his car. Sorry.
Keep that quiet. That's all right. So he's the Man City attackers again. Again, same colours apply. So Gundogan, he's the one nailed on at the moment. Obviously, he's the man in form as well. Sterling, missed out on the Sheffield United. He missed out on Brighton, and as you can see, he got a -1. That was when he missed that penalty, which Ryan was fuming about.
Yeah, that lost me the game week 2, that.
Yeah, and what's next is it looks like Foden's the one who's been playing the most between them, Mahrez and Jesus. It's only the one game where he's actually subbed. 1 or 2, I believe that should be. So, I mean, based on the team tonight, who they're playing Mahrez, Sterling, Jesus. Is it Foden that misses out?
I think it's Foden that misses out. City are winning. Jesus scored. I don't know who assisted him. That could influence it. I don't know, but I think Jesus is going to start. Obviously, he just scored again. Foden maybe. Mahrez, if he doesn't perform tonight, he'll probably lose his spot. Won't he? Might go with Sterling and Foden.
Yeah,
it depends because I don't think Sterling's really doing much this year. I think Mahrez is the better player, but he doesn't really get a consistent look in. I can about it, but I know it's just going to be a complete different team on the day.
Yeah, and like you're saying, Sterling's not performed quite as well, but he's still like Pep's number one attacking midfielder, I think.
Yeah.
Where you think he's not going to get dropped. So like you're saying, it's hard to predict. And who knows when De Bruyne comes back, what's going to all happen with Foden and Mahrez. You'd assume Jesus will be playing as the only out-and-out striker, but he does tend to play a false 9 from time to time.
Yeah. He's in net, I think, on the next game as well.
But there you go. There's my fancy analysis there.
I've enjoyed that. You've done brilliant with them, man. There's just think I'm going to have to fork out loads for graphic designers. Mate, do it yourself, innit?
Exactly, and see them photoshopping ability as well.
Yeah, great. You're a bit the unsung hero, mate. You do all this hard work. I do nothing. I'm laid in bed in undies. About 5 minutes before it's time to go live, I shot some knickers on quick and some joggers. I'm ready to go. I just let my knowledge do the bloody talking, mate. You're there. Hours and hours on your computer, dedication, buying merchandise, kicking off. It's mint, man. Well done.
I do the hard graft behind the scenes.
You do.
Me and Ryan Ainsley, probably. You and Ryan just come on, do your makeup, look pretty for the camera, and then get all the limelight.
Yeah, that's it. Don't even have to brush my hair. It's gone again. Speaking of Ainsley, I know I said this at the beginning. If he's watching this, he's getting sacked if he doesn't pay up. He made a football bet with me, and now he's denying it because he's lost. So I want my money. I'm going to smack your head in.
Chase him up.
I will, mate. Wait till I'm back from Southend by the sea.
Oh, that's where you are?
Well, I'm in Essex now. And I tell you what, I don't know if you've watched Towie, but it's not like that, mate. I've nearly been killed. I've nearly been killed, mate. Loads.
We'll put an SOS out if you're in danger or anything like that. We'll know what's happening. But anyway, so he's my team. As you can see, Wildcard played 38 points. So we've got Areola for 1, Robertson for 2, Thiago Silva 7, Diaz 8, Gundogan 6, Souček 1, Tielemans 2, Madison 5, Son 2, Antonio 2, and Calvert-Lewin 2. And so where do I begin? taken out all the premiums, so I took Bruno out. Didn't really affect it that much last week, but I took Bam Bam out, didn't I, for Calvert-Lewin, that fraud. 13-point swing there, really. Another lesson learned, which is why I captained Diaz this week. I've just stuck with my captain because Diaz, he's barely blanked in the last 10 weeks. If you actually just captained Diaz for 10 weeks, you would have just got solid 7 and 8s for however that many weeks. Just would have kept you ticking over. Went for Gundogan, he didn't even look threatening.
Yeah, Gundogan's bust, mate. I just took Gundogan out. Like what you said with Harry Aikenhead, when you just feel someone served the purpose, you've got the head start on everyone. I had 2 mint weeks out of him. I took him out.
Yeah, and that's it. It was just maybe I should have just left it and just said I've missed the boat on this one. But
yeah,
I thought,
so what I'm trying to say is I'm cleverer than you.
Well, you could be at the moment, mate. Definitely. And so a few things on the league anyway. Tell you what, we'll go for the big money league. So myself still top, but my time at the top could be coming to an end if I lose this week. I'm literally could be only 1 point ahead of Kieran Devlin there.
Yeah. It's the power. The power's in your mind again. You'll be fine, mate. Still only got to be top 8, haven't you? Just pass the crown down. Save yourself some stress. Can't be the leader of the league. It's like being the prime minister, man. You too much pressure on your shoulders. Just forget about it. Drop down a few places. Let me pass you because I'm probably going to because I am absolutely smashing it. And then just sit pretty in 9th or 8th and battle out for that last spot between you and your brother.
Well, that's it. Well, to be fair, in that league, I've still got a big lead over you. 12 points. You're down in 8th there.
Yeah, and I've been wildcarded tonight.
You've been wildcard. Oh, yeah.
Been wildcarded.
The wildcard police.
Ben. Is it Ben? I think it's Ben.
Ben Murray, yeah. And so obviously he's the stand-up cup. He's a little bit the spreadsheet here. I mean, manager of the month and everything like that. Do some big shout-outs to Craig Errington, Danny Cannon, Ben Thacker. All won 4 games last week. Craig Errington was the highest for the month for this week. And he only lost to Ben, didn't he, in that epic, I was 120, 116 or something like that.
It was a super tight game. I've noticed Craig climbing the table. He's doing really well.
He is. He's a threat. Let's try and show it on. Bear with me a second. Yeah, there it is. So stand-up cup. There's Liam, Harry, Trev, Craig now 4th, myself, Tony, Tom, Steely, and Ben Thacker just behind on 9th. But the closing gap is there. Sorry, I was just a bit speechless at that league. I think I didn't know what to say.
I changed my mind. We do need to recruit someone. The workload's too much for you.
I think it is. It's getting to me. Couple of shout outs then. Just before we go, obviously, I know you look forward to some of these anyway. February manager of the month. It's gone to Harry Aikenhead. Second time he's won it. He's just, I think, do you know what? He's won 10 games in a row in the league.
Impressive.
Since he lost in the first week of December, and he hasn't lost since.
Yeah, he's done well. I watched the podcast that I missed last week, obviously where Harry was our guest. What a lovely chap he is. He seemed after all this smack talk in the chat at the beginning of the season, I thought, what a whopper! How deceiving! He was a lovely chap, very well spoken, proper southern accent, and he's smashing the league. Harry Aikenhead, what a guy!
I remember you messaging. So he wasn't a cocky bastard who you thought on the chat and everything.
I thought everyone was going to kill him, man.
But yeah,
What
here we
about
go.
my best mate, Tobias? He's like third in the other league, isn't he? Deserves a shout out.
Tobias. Oh yeah,
Toby,
yeah,
King
that's
Tobias.
it. King Tobias. You
King
like that
Tobias.
name, don't you?
Yeah, it's in my book, King Tobias, and my second Lost Sons of the West book, and now my best mate's called Tobias. What a bit of magic.
So would you any advice to him? Would you say stick with Tobias or go with Toby?
Tobias? What a powerful name, mate. Imagine it, picture it in your head. Tobias, mate. Sword and shield, gold trimmed armour. Doesn't give a shit, mate. Climbs Roseby Topham with his dog and that. Animal.
Animal.
He doesn't even know me.
Few shout outs then. He's Matty Tunstall here. 54 points he's got this week. And he even he's taking the piss out of Ainsley. He's got Benderek on for -7.
Absolutely taking the piss out of Ryan Ainsley.
That must be the lowest score ever, surely.
That is a record.
It's got to be.
-7. That's extraordinary going.
Red card and an own goal, wasn't it? And they conceded 9.
Yeah.
I don't know how many there was. And oh yeah, he still gets up. But yeah, 34 points with Fernandez captain. He even had Riedeveld on the bench with 10.
I know.
Would have been handy.
It's insane. He's had him all season as well. I've always wondered why does he have that player? And on multiple occasions, he's got mega bucks, man. I should have made some video of myself for my chat with Ryan Ainsley on WhatsApp last night when all this was going down. He was kicking off, mate. It makes for gold television, I tell you. He started arguing with me because he said it's 100% luck. I went, it's like 50-50 like poker. He was like, you're telling me that it's 50-50 that United are going to win 9-0. I was like, no, I'm not on about that. I'm on about fantasy. No, it's fully luck. I'm quitting. I'm not playing.
I know, he was fuming earlier. I think I supported him because I'm in a mood at the moment. Because he messaged me, how can people say that's skill? No way. And I just agreed with him because I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's all luck.
I love names.
Anyway, James Madison assists just while we're there.
Are you joking?
Just a bit of an update for Ian Nacho. He's got a couple of minutes anyway, so he's Steve's team here. 53 against you. Big shout out to Steve. All the best, mate. Hope you take care. We're all looking out for you. Flowers and everything are on its way. Mugs and everything. Fernandez 17, Rashford 18, Martial 13, and Wilson 5. So very good from Steve there.
Yeah.
So what do you think then? Obviously, last couple of minutes here. Do you think you're going to win this week?
I think I'm going to win this week. It's not cockiness or arrogance. It's just I have faith. My team's set right for it. I think I'm going to beat him.
Yeah. And I've got no confidence whatsoever. I've already wrote it off. I've already taken -4, to be honest, for next week. I'm not pissed off. And I'll tell you, I've put Fernandez in straight away.
You've done that twice you've done it already this season with Fernandez. I'm putting him back in. He's never going out my team again.
I've picked him. I've took him out twice and he's got 17 against me twice.
Oh man, listen, mate. We can joke and everything, but I have faith in you. You just got to clear your head, calm it down. You'll make playoffs, and I'll see you there, son.
Yeah, hopefully see you then. Just on that note, I'll just leave you on this.
Hopefully, I'm winning.
Just while we go. We do not own any copyright for this song.
You are the biggest dickhead I've ever known in my life.